This video is brought to you in association with Make Jewellery, the UK's best jewellery making magazine. For exclusive subscription offers, visit www.craftyclub.net.
Hi, my name's Kate Hemmings and I'm pleased to welcome you to a video project demonstration brought to you by the Crafts channel. Today I'm joined by Corinne Bradd, who's going to be showing us how to make crystal ball pendants. Hi Corinne.
Hello Kate, yeah.
So this sounds intriguing.
Yeah, crystal ball pendants are great. They've been around for quite a while now and you quite often see them in magazines used in projects. But they're one of those things, once you've made one of them, they are so simple to make, but trying to explain to someone how to make it isn't the easiest thing in the world.
Okay.
You can make them with bicone crystals. I mean, these are made with 6mm bicone crystals. And what I've done is there's a pearl inside the middle of it to keep it in a nice ball shape like this. But they also work equally well with pearls. And the pearls themselves, because they don't have the square edges, you don't need to put the ball inside it. And there's a large enough hole in there, you could thread them onto cord so you've got like a nice focal bead on there.
They're really pretty.
Without the pearl, and you can still make them without a pearl inside the bicone ones, but they have a tendency to flatten. And they don't make a complete circular shape. So if that's what you're after, you want the ball, I'd put the pearl in it. Now, I'm going to make them today with enormous beads. Yes, really. So the easiest way to show someone is to literally show someone how to do it. So I'm using the longest piece of cord available because I'm not sure how much I'll need for this. And you know what it's like, you do a project and then you end up with that much cord and you've got to get another 8 beads on there. For something like this, you'd probably need about 30 centimetres of monofilament. For 4mm bicones, you could get away with a bit less.
Okay.
So you need 30 beads of the same size. They don't have to be the same colour, obviously, you can mix and match. And to start with, what we'll do is we thread on 5 beads. And these have got nice big holes in because you will need to go back through some of these holes as you're doing it. So there's your 5 beads. And what you need to do is take them to the centre of the cord, which is here. There's yards of this stuff.
It is actually the longest piece ever.
Take them to the centre of the cord, okay? Take your left hand string and thread it back through the right hand bead in the opposite direction to make a loop.
So you don't pull it all the way through?
No, you do.
Oh, you do?
Like that,
okay.
to make a loop. And then what you need to do, now this has become your right, oh, my hands are going everywhere. Now this has become your right hand thread. You thread 1 bead onto the right, like that, and 3 beads onto the left.
Okay.
Okay, this will all become clear in a minute. Okay. And you're thinking, well, why have you only thread on 4 beads this time and not 5?
I am thinking this, you're right.
It's because you've already got the 5th bead there on the loop.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so you've got that. You then take the end, your left hand thread again, pass it back through that bead on the right in the opposite direction. Okay, and then thread it through the one that's adjacent to it. Oh. And again, you pull it tight. So now you've got 2 circles next to each other. Now, because you've already got 2 beads on the thread, would you like to take a guess at what you do now?
Couldn't possibly, Corinne.
Right.
It's too complicated for me.
You put 1 onto the right, and you only put 2 onto the left-hand thread this time. And this is how you'll continue around the ring, just 1 on the right and 2 on the left. Okay, take your left hand thread, cross it through the right hand bead and again next to the right hand bead that's adjacent to it. Oh. It also helps if your thread is straight. And you can find the end. Right, there you go. So now you've got 3. So I'm just going to carry on putting 1 bead on the right, 2 beads on the left.
I can see it's starting to take shape now.
Yeah. It is very, very quick when you do it. So 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Oh, cross it through the one on the right. Yeah, maybe this would have been easier with a slightly shorter thread. Never mind, too late now. And again, through that adjacent bead on the right. So what you're going to build up, in a second, you'll see that there'll be a flower shape build up on this. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned to start with, you need 30 beads to make one of these. And in order to make sure that as you're doing this, you're not getting it wrong, just sort out your 30 beads before you start. Because then you'll know that you're getting to the end because you'll only have one bead left and you know you won't have made a mistake.
A little bit of forward planning.
So one on the right. Oh. Two on the left. Now I'm using two colours of bead here to make it easier for people to see what's going on. And I'm trying to keep it in the same direction so that you can follow exactly what I've done. And actually, when this is finished, this will make an incredible earring. It'll be so big. Or maybe a cat toy. Okay, so I've crossed the thread over and I'm threading it through the adjacent bead again. Okay, and then now what will happen is I'm going to make, this will be the flower shape, this will be the 5th petal on the flower. So although I've just threaded it through that first adjacent bead, I'm going to thread it through this one as well, if I can. And then what we'll do is we'll just thread one bead on each of them.
One on each side?
One on each side, because you've got 1, 2, 3 beads on there already.
Okay.
But again, you cross it over in the right hand bead. See, I'm saying right. Anyone viewing this is seeing left, aren't they? That will confuse you. Right, so you've now got a 5 petal flower, and when you pull it tight, that's the first half of your crystal ball. So what you need to do is, you can see where these uprights are coming up here. You need to take this thread and thread it through this adjacent bead on the right again, because the next half is going to come up from here. And each time you'll be putting on less beads now, because you've already got the basis of your half circle. Okay?
I can see that taking shape.
When I first did these, I used to knot the beads between each step, and actually I think it's a lot easier if you don't. If you leave the whole thing loose, because it means that you can keep it flat, you can see any mistakes far, far more easily, and you get a much better tension on it. So there's 2 beads on the left, 1 on the right, cross it through on the right, yep.
Yep.
And this time, what you need to do is thread it through the 2 adjacent beads. Okay, so there's through 1, there's through 2. And again now, because you've got 3 beads in a row, you only need to put 2 on now. So 1 on each side. I hope I'm explaining this. It's easy to do once you've done it. It's very, very difficult to try and do it in a written format.
I guess with practice as well, it's something you'll get used to.
And to be honest, if you're uncertain of it, do it with a bigger bead, because you can see far more easily what's going on. It's not so fiddly, it doesn't hurt your hands so much. Okay, the 2 adjacent beads again. This cord is really irritating me now. And it's far too long.
It's not cooperating, is it?
No, it's not cooperating. But you know, I'd rather, you're better to have too much thread than too little. Okay, so it's definitely starting to form up.
It definitely is, and if we'll just leave it here, because that's all we've got time for now, but if you stay tuned for part 2, we'll be right back.